Hello, Shelley from Spin Cushions here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this square called Carpentaria, and it is one where you do have to cut the yarn at the end of each of these circle rounds to make it look good, but I think it's worth the effort and I'll show you how to do that. So I'll be making mine in single colour, but you'll be able to change colours at any round if you need to without any much change at all. Okay, I'm going to start with a magic circle. Now, I'm going to chain one and then do 8 double crochets UK, single crochets US in your loop. You can start with a chain, like 3 or 4 chain joined into a loop if you'd like instead. It's up to you. I like the closed circle this magic circle gives. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we're going to join, close our magic circle and join with a slip stitch to our first stitch, which is this one here. That chain one we did at the start doesn't count in our stitch count. That just makes it a bit easier to work into this first stitch. Okay. Oops. Join with a slip stitch. There we go. Round 1 done. Round 2 we're going to be doing half trebles UK or half doubles US. We start with chain 2 starting chain. And then we're going to do a half treble UK, half double US in the same place we joined our slip stitch to, same stitch. And we're going to do 2 stitches, 2 half stitches in every stitch around. So we're going to end up with 16 stitches in total. That's 1, 2. 2 half stitches in every stitch around. So I will do that and show you how to join up and what we do next. Okay, so I've done my 16 stitches. Now we're not going to join up with a slip stitch. Instead, we're going to cut our yarn and then pull that up that way, and we're going to join it with an invisible join. So we need a yarn needle. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore this chain 2 space. In that first half stitch that we did, we're going to insert our needle underneath there, like that. Then I tend to turn it over, turn it around. Then we're going to insert our needle back in where this stitch, where the yarn came out of in our last stitch, but also that little bump down below, we're going to poke it underneath there as well. And we're going to pull it back the right way until that loop is about the same size as our other loops. So I'm just going to lift it up above there. There we go. So that's our first round. So then we weave in this end. I'll do it properly later, but I'll just put it in here just to get it out of the way, and I'll finish that off later. So there we go, we've joined with an invisible join. So that loop has sort of made our 2 chain look like a real stitch. Just poke that little chain underneath it. Yes, so there we go. Looks like a normal stitch. Okay, so now we need to attach our yarn with a standing stitch. So a standing stitch, just put your yarn on your hook with a slip knot. And we're going to be working into the loop behind the V. So if you have a look at a normal stitch, you've got your V, you normally work in here. We're actually going to turn it over. If you have a look, there's this third loop at the back. Sometimes it's called the back bump or the third loop. I call it the loop behind the V. So that is where we're going to be working all of our stitches in this round, and that's what gives that nice flat circle look on the front. So we're going to attach our yarn with a standing half treble, UK terms, or half double. Oh, sorry, I've just pulled that tail tight. So yarn over, find a back bump or loop behind V and work a stitch as normal. Now we're going to do a half treble UK, half WS in that same loop. Then we're going to do one in the back loop of the next one. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. We're going to do 2 in one stitch, 1, 2, and 1 in the next stitch. And you do that all the way around. So this time we'll have what we have. We will have 16, 24 stitches. Yes, sorry. 24 stitches at the end of this round. So I'll work my way around and show you how to finish off this one. Okay, I've done my 24 stitches. Again, we're going to join with an invisible join. So don't join up with a slip stitch. And cut off your yarn and pull it through that way. Thread your needle. Now we're going to ignore this loop here, this standing stitch. We're actually going to go into that first real stitch. And flip it over and poke your hook back in through where it came out of, as well as that back bump. And pull this standing stitch to the back. So you can see this is our joining stitch. That's our that's the second stitch we did in the round. So that's the last stitch we did. This is the join we've just done, and that's the last stitch we did. If you look on the back, that's our standing stitch join. But don't worry about that because it's on the back and you're not going to be able to see it. So again, weave in this end. I won't do it properly because it will take too much time here. But you know, backwards and forwards, up and down a couple of rows. And don't pull it too tight initially or else you're going to distort that false stitch invisible join that you just did. So I've just pulled it a little bit. Now let's pull it in a bit. Okay, so that's round 3 done. Now we're on to the next one. And these rounds are all very similar, it's just we're doing a different stitch repeat, that's all. Okay, so again we start with our standing stitch, the yarn attached to our hook with a slip knot. We're going to do a false half treble UK, half WS, not a false, a standing one, sorry. In the back loop, sorry, not the back loop, the loop behind V. We're going to do another one in the same loop behind V. Then we're going to do one in the next stitch, in the loop behind V of the next stitch, and one in the loop behind V of the next stitch. So we're doing 2 stitches, this is our little repeat, 2 in one loop behind V, and then 1 in the next 2. So there's 4 stitches in total in our little repeat. So at the end of this round we're going to have 32 stitches. So I will do all of that and show you the end. Okay, my 32 stitches are done. So again we're joining with an invisible join. Snip off your yarn, pull it up to the front. This is the last time I'm going to show you how to do this because I think by now you will have it. Thread your needle, ignore that standing stitch, in through that second stitch of the round, flip it over, back in where the yarn came out of, and also underneath that bump there. Make sure that standing stitch is pulled to the back because this becomes that top of that stitch instead. So that is that done. Now you can see this is quite a big loop where we've just joined over that standing stitch. But once you work into your next round, this is the one from the round before, you can see once I've woven in that end, it won't be very visible at all. So don't worry about this bit hanging out the back. By the time you do your next round, it'll go away. So I will weave in this end, not properly, I'll do that properly later. And we will go on to the next one. Alright, so I'm going to do the next round and I'll join it up and keep on going. Okay, so again, attach your yarn to your hook with a slip knot and attach your yarn with a half treble UK, half double US to the loop behind V of any stitch. Do another one in that same loop behind V. Then we're going to do a single stitch in the next 3 loop behind V's. So there's 5 stitches in our little repeat this time. That's 1, 2, 3. So that's all there is to it. I'll do that all the way around, join up and show you the next round. Okay, so that's round 5 done, and I have woven in all my ends. So you can see, don't worry about those standing stitches sticking out, because once you've woven in your ends, it's all good. Okay, so now we're up to round 6. So again, same sort of thing. Attach your yarn to your hook with a slip knot, and we are going to use a half treble UK, half double US in the loop behind V of any stitch. Oops. Then a half in the same. Sorry, a bit fidgety here. Okay, and then a stitch in the loop behind V of the next 4 stitches. So a little repeat will have 6 stitches in it this time. 2 in one, and then 4 single ones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So after this round we'll have 48 stitches. So I'll do all that, join up and show you the last one of these rounds. Okay, so there you go, round 6 done. I really recommend weaving in your ends as you go, because having 2 ends in each round, if you leave it to the very end of the square or even of your whole blanket, you will not be happy. Okay, sorry, just dropped my yarn. Alright, one more round of this and then we are squaring off. So again, attach your yarn to your hook with a slip knot, half trebles UK, half doubles US, find the loop behind V of any one, do a stitch in the same, and then a single stitch in the next 5. So there's 7 stitches in our little repeat this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you do that all the way around and you will end up with 56 stitches. Join up with an invisible join and I'll show you how to square off next. Alright, so there you are, round 7 done. No more invisible joins, but we are still going to work into the loop behind V of the next round when we start to square off. So again, we attach our yarn to our hook with a slip knot. And we're going to start with a standing double treble UK terms or a standing triple US terms in the loop behind V of any stitch. Then we are going to do a half double treble UK or a half triple US in that same loop behind V. Next is a treble UK or a double US in the loop behind V of the next stitch. Then a half treble UK, half double US in the next 2 stitches. Loop behind V of the next 2, I beg your pardon. 2, Then we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the loop behind V of the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then a half treble UK, half double US in the next 2, then a treble UK, double US in the next loop behind V. Now we're up to our corner, so we're going to start with all in the same stitch. We're going to do a half double treble UK, half triple US, then a double treble UK or a triple US. We are going to chain 2 and then do a double UK or a triple US, double treble, and now a half double treble UK or a half triple US. So that's our corner. Don't worry about it pulling up a big loop. As we work our next stitches, it'll all come back in fine. Excuse my horrible fingernail. Yes, so we have our side and our corners all in the loop behind V. I'll work my way around and show you how to finish off this round. Okay, so I've done all my repeats. All I need to do now is a half double treble UK or a half triple US in the same place as our first stitches, that same loop behind V, and then a double treble UK or a triple US. Now all the other corners have chain 2 in them. We're not going to chain 2, we're going to chain 1 and join with a double crochet UK, single crochet US to that standing stitch, and that just puts us as if we're in the middle of the corner. And the next instruction is to work a double crochet UK, single crochet US over the joining stitch. All that means is in that big hole. And then we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in every stitch along the side, and in each 2 chain corner space we'll be doing a stitch, chain 2, a stitch, all double crochets UK, single crochets US. So I will do that all the way around and show you how to finish this one off. Alright, so I've been all the way around doing my 17 stitches along each side, a stitch, 2 chain, 2 stitch in each corner. So now we just need to finish off that first corner, so we do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in that same big hole that first one's in. This time we are going to chain 2 and join with a slip stitch to our first stitch. Put it in the right spot. It's better. And we're going to fasten off our yarn. Leave in your ends. Whoops, sorry, bumping the camera. And there you have Carpentaria. So you can see it's pretty much the same size in the Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton as it is in the Cascade Ultra Pima cotton. But if you need to adjust the size of this one, either leave off the last round if it's a little too big, or repeat the last round if it's a little too small, or block it to size. It does have a little bit of stretch in it. So there you go, Carpentaria from Siren's Atlas. Don't forget to sign up to my newsletters to hear my latest crochet fun. Thanks, see ya.